Hi, I'm Jules, a speech pathologist of 16 years. The question is, what happens after a child receives a diagnosis from a paediatrician or a child psychologist? So what happens there is the paediatrician or child psychologist will use a standardized assessment to assess the child, and a diagnosis may or may not be given based on the DSM V. What that means for speech or OT, not a lot, in the sense that we can see already what your child's needs are. Obviously, share any diagnosis, any information with your clinician, okay? But moving forward from there, it's not like the goals are going to change drastically or at all, given that we do our own assessment, our own standardized assessments for speech pathology and occupational therapy. They're the only assessments we do at Grow and Tell. So we already know, through talking with you, through engaging with your child, where they are at and where we're heading in terms of goals and supports for your child. When a diagnosis does take place, we encourage parents to get support. We know your child's going to be okay. Whatever it is, wherever they're at, we have seen over the years, and for me, over a decade, that child will be well supported, and that there are there is a pathway of help, supports, growth for them. It's more the parents that we really check in with and encourage to reach out to a counsellor or a registered psychologist to help understand and digest and have someone to talk to and someone to share thoughts, ideas, all those natural things that are going to come up when a diagnosis does take place for a child. So it is really important to, yes, we know your child's going to be okay. There's no question about that. It's more for reflecting and having a parent take time for themselves and put themselves as a priority of who's supporting them and who's listening to them, and having some research-based strategies for the parent themselves or parents to help them move through whatever emotions they're feeling, which are very natural, very expected, and to have supports and strategies in place for them. So I will have that conversation with parents. If you've been in sessions with me, I'll bring it up anywhere from the first to maybe the third session of who is supporting you, and sharing information about, in Australia, obviously, we have the mental health plan, and it's a resource that us as clinicians utilize and provides free, or if not heavily rebated, psychology sessions. Okay, I just want to reassure parents, it's not laying on a sofa talking about your childhood or anything like that. It's coming up with very helpful, specific strategies like cognitive behavior therapy, very simple but very effective, to help move through transition and changes in life. And we see a huge difference in parents' health and outlook, and their ability to engage and participate with their child and through therapies with us as well. So it's something that we really do talk about. And it's okay if you're in a cycle right now, or if you're in a place where you feel stuck, or any emotion and feeling like, do you know what, it's probably time to get some support. So you can Google that yourself, for book an appointment rather for yourself through the GP. Just book a extended appointment or a double appointment, because there is some forms to go through. Very straightforward. We really want to destigmatize the idea around getting support as a person. Seeking help is strong. It is looking after yourself, and it does take courage, because it's something new. So we do have posters on our walls to support parents understanding and coming to terms with that. It could be a cultural difference where that may be very new. It could be a generational thing where some grandparents are very unfamiliar with research-based support for mental health and counselling and psychology. So when we're experiencing something new, we just know that it can be overwhelming for us. So just reassuring that when the time comes, or does come at any point, to seek help and to ask your clinician more about that, and the details can be provided about, you know, mental health plan or how to go about making an appointment with the GP. So keep asking questions. I'm happy to answer them, and I hope you found that helpful.